So, Mr. Chairman, we are returning to open session from closed session. And to that end, the board needs to make a motion to certify the following statement, please. To the best of the members' knowledge, only public business matters lawfully exempted in the motion by which the closed session was called was considered or discussed in the closed session.
So moved. Second?
So moved by Mr. Jesse, seconded by Mr. Crittenden. Roll call, please.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Crittenden?
Yes.
Mr. Jesse?
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris?
Yes. Motion carried.
Okay.
So, Mr. Chairman, I believe it was the intent of the board to take action upon returning to open session. And Matt, do you want to do the motion or you want me to?
I believe a motion's in order to authorize the county administrator to list the Paradise Lane property in Deltaville, Virginia with R.D. Johnson under an open listing for sale.
A motion would be in order for that, please.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Williams,
Second?
seconded by Mr. Crittenden. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Crittenden?
Yes.
Mr. Jesse?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris?
Yes, motion's approved.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, I would now like to open the public hearing.
So I believe the first thing on your agenda, Mr. Chairman, is a ordinance amendment number 25-03 that Mr. Kretz is going to present, and I'm guessing he's also going to present the 2505 one as well?
Yeah.
And for clarification, the staff will present, and then the formal public hearing on the item will be opened afterwards.
It is now, yeah. Okay, thanks. Good evening, everybody. We have two ordinance amendments for consideration tonight. One of them deals with the changes in state code that require removal of the planning commission and governing body from review of site plans and subdivisions. The first one is the one that deals with the zoning ordinance and site plans. I can go through these and show some of the changes. You can see it's pretty much embedded through all these ordinances, how it weaves itself through the different processes that the planning commission and governing body have with respect to the processes. These are the changes in the subdivision ordinance, or the zoning ordinance. That's the first consideration. I'm going to go through these. Hopefully I can. Hey, Marie, you might have to slide that a little bit. Wants to jump. Thank you. Maybe I can go from page to page. Yeah, just maybe you could operate. Yeah, go. So these are the changes. What the highlight of the ordinance, the amendment, is basically to name a designated agent that would be reviewing these subdivisions and site plans. Generally speaking, that's been customary for the planning director to do that. You can see there's a lot of things that were taken out of it. Since there's no planning commission involvement, and there's no requirement for notification. There's a lot of far-reaching changes that occurred with this. I think this whole code change was probably, initiated by the housing industry that complains about, review times, and, it hinges itself to the need for housing and how they can reduce the cost of housing, how they can get housing product to the consumer quicker. So removing, that what could be 30 to 60 days of just public process, you would go straight to, it would just be reviewed by the planning director or the designated agent. So as I go through these, it is kind of embedded through the whole ordinance here. You can see it even, we have Article 17D, multifamily housing and condominiums. At the end, landscaping, it's designated through there. So So what it's done is removed, like I said, the planning commission and the board of supervisors, or the governing body, as they call it, from the ability to review. These would be by right site plans. This would not, if you had a rezoning case and they had a concept plan with that rezoning, say we were going to an agricultural zoning to a residential zoning, the planning commission and the board of supervisors would review that conceptual site plan or that conceptual subdivision plan in conjunction with that rezoning. What this does, it only gives the ability for by right uses. Let's say major subdivisions are allowed in residential, then that's a by right use. In that case, it could come directly to the designated agent for review. There's also components in here that require reduced time frames to distribute to the agencies. The whole idea is to move this process along quicker and get it to the end product in a more reduced time. So you can see I've added the definition of the designated agent. This was taken directly from state code. I did add one component to the end of this. It says, for the purposes of this definition, designated agent shall mean the director of planning, his or her designee, or other agent assigned by the board of supervisors. So what this does is it would default to the planning director, who usually reviews site plans and subdivisions anyway. And it could be delegated to a staff member to do some work. And in the case, the board has to have some ability to be able to process things for the public. So let's say you did not have a planning director or a designee, then the board could designate whoever they want to be. And you could designate somebody else, but it defaults to the planning director. So if you decided, well, I don't want the planning director to do it, I want somebody from administration, you could do that. It's just, it defaults to the planning director without any input from the board. But it does give the board that ability in the end to, you ultimately have to have the power to adopt, get somebody to do the job. So anyway, of course, this went through the planning commission. Planning commission recommended approval, and staff recommends approval of this particular ordinance amendment. It's required by state code. I described that when we initiated it for the subdivision ordinance. So if any of the board members have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer them best I can.
And most of this was generated as a result of some cleanup for what the state wanted to do on ordinances.
It's our speculation that it was initiated by the development community to help expedite their review processes and to get their subdivisions done. Time is money for a developer. So if it's taking an extra 30, 60 days, that's costing them time and money. So that's pretty much what we feel. Most of it is initiated through that process and try to expedite that through there. So, and that's where the code change came.
Right.
So,
Any questions for Mr. Kretz? Seeing none,
this is a public hearing.
if you're set,
I'll step aside.
I'll pull you back up. And also go ahead and initiate the public hearing on that item that was just presented. Do I have anybody that would like to speak on it? Seeing none, hearing none, roll call, please. Oh, I'm sorry, motion made, please. Getting late in the day.
It's okay, and it's hot.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to see
It would be in order to have a motion to approve or to adopt the ordinance amendment number 25-03 as presented by staff. Is
that's
that-
what I was trying to say.
There you go, yeah, there you go, yes. I put on my mind reader hat and I was getting
I
that.
so move.
So moved by Mr. Crittenden. Need a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Williams. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Crittenden?
Yes.
Mr. Jesse?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris?
Yes. Motion approved for 2025-03. Item number B, ordinance amendment 2025-05. Mr. Kretz?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. This is the, I guess, the sibling to the other, the other ordinance amendment. This deals with the subdivision portion of it, and I'm going to go through it briefly, but Mrs. Lewis and I looked at this, and we started kind of doing a reconciliation of the subdivision ordinance. And we started looking at some components in it that probably need more analysis. So this is just a draft of what I put together for changes in it. Fairly substantial changes. One of them, I noticed that we didn't have our commission in there as part of the process for initiations, and I've added that as a change. But the basic changes, similar changes to the subdivision ordinance, but like I said, we discovered a lot of things that may need to be looked at. So what I'm recommending to the board, we still have that same definition of designated agent. It's pretty much the same as was in the zoning ordinance amendment. So what I'm recommending is, due to the number of changes, and we also have a kind of a parallel amendment initiation for our requirement for water hookups and that type of thing, I would recommend that we send this back to the Planning Commission for review and get everything that needs to be done to this ordinance in one tidy package and send it back to our through the Planning Commission and to the board for one action. I don't feel as uncomfortable with the zoning ordinance, because usually a zoning ordinance is amended several times through the year. And if we see something that we might want to change, it's easier to amend the zoning ordinance. Subdivision ordinance is a little bit more cumbersome. I'd rather get the subdivision ordinance done once and and then we have it taken care of. So that would be my recommendation on this particular ordinance. After looking at it further, we were trying to rush it out here and get it done. I've spoken with some of the other planning directors in the region, two other ones, and they're aware of the change, and they're taking a slow kind of, okay, let's sit back and fix it. Essex hasn't started motion on it yet, and King and Queen is going to look at it through their county attorney. And I'm not sure Matthews is probably aware of it. I didn't speak with them. But anyway, let's get the subdivision ordinance done right one time, get through the process, and take one action on that. So that's my recommendation.
And Dave, I have a recommendation for you. If the Planning Commission and you go through the ordinance, can you, instead of rewording what the state code currently says, can you just basically refer the ordinance to state code? So as state code evolves, since our state government seems to be much more involved in local issues these days and seems to be changing the code right often, maybe we could just refer to the code general and then not have to come back as often to amend with the latest from Richmond.
Right, to some degree, I did that with the other
Yeah,
one.
I know you did, but
This one, I tried to tackle it, and it may be easier just to go back. Heather and
say
I
the
will
words,
talk about
as per state code.
it. Yeah, Heather and we're going to go through it, look at it pretty closely, so we'll decide how we attack that. There's a lot of things in the process. They talk about preliminary plats and when you can require them, when you can't. It gets a little convoluted. So we want to do make sure that, just do a kind of a audit of the whole ordinance, make sure we get it right and bring it back to the board.
So table the public hearing?
Well, no, I was going to say, I believe Mr. Kretz and I were of the opinion, since we've already advertised, and if any members of the public here had a burning desire to speak on this riveting issue, we wanted to still have the public hearing and allow the public to speak, because there could be some input that would be valuable for the later part of the process. You've already advertised, so there's no reason why we shouldn't allow the public to
You can.
speak.
And what I'll do is, once it's fixed, I'm going to re-advertise it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm always for public, transparency.
Gotcha.
And plus, we legally would have to, so.
Okay.
Two reasons. 2 reasons, yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Yes,
Kretz.
sir.
Hold on for us. I mean, you can step aside
Yes,
from me. Is there anybody that would like to speak at the public hearing on ordinance amendment 2025-05? Seeing none, hearing none, we will send that back, Mr. Kretz will send that back to the Planning Commission.
That requires a motion,
Okay,
please.
so a motion would be, are we actually are going to approve 2025-05?
No, sir, the motion would be to
Send it
refer ordinance amendment 2025-05 back to the Planning Commission
Okay.
for further review and reconciliation with the Code of Virginia.
Thank you, Ms. Lewis. That's the motion. I need somebody to
So
make
move
it.
on that motion.
So moved on the motion by
Second.
Mr. Jesse, second by Mr. Crittenden. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Jesse,
Yes.
Mr. Williams,
Yes.
Mr. Crittenden,
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris.
Yes, motion 2025-05 is being recommended to send back to the Planning Commission. Item C, Mr. Kretz.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry, I'll take that one, but surprise, you want to do it?
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, the Board of Supervisors are conducting a public hearing tonight on the potential amendment to the Middlesex County fiscal year 2026 county budget. This amendment seeks to amend and appropriate the budget for the 2026-2027 budget to appropriate $1 million, to amend and appropriate $1 million from the county's fund balance or reserves for the purposes of a loan to the Middlesex Economic Development Authority for real estate acquisition. If approved tonight, the amendment would increase the county's total budget, total capital projects fund, and I'm reading straight from the ad, in the agenda, to $2,348,000, I got it, $2,348,430 for fiscal year 2026-2027. And the total county budget, or excuse me, fiscal year 2026. The total county budget for fiscal year 2026 would be $37,392,418. Pursuant to Code 15.2, 2506, and 2507, if the board ever amends a budget over 1%, we have to have a public hearing before such amendment.
thank you, Mr. Walker. Is there anybody that would like to speak on Budget Amendment FY 2026-001? Yes, sir?
And apologies, Mr. Chairman, I should have recognized the chairman of the EDA, John Anzavino, and Trent Funkhauser, our Economic Development Director, are here with us tonight.
No reason to do that. Well, it's good to be before the board again. Chairman Harris, members of the board, County Administrator Walker, county staff. As you know, I'm John Anzavino. I'm chairman of the Middlesex Economic Development Authority. I'm here at the board's request and with the unanimous support of our board. I'm speaking this evening in support of the proposed appropriation of $1 million in loan funds to the EDA by the Board of Supervisors. I won't go into a lot of detail because I know you've had a long day and I've been in a lot of long meetings myself. But there are 5 reasons why we support this appropriation of funds and the loan to the EDA. As you know, we've been working collaboratively for over 2 years to identify suitable sites that provide additional access to the Rappahannock River and Chesapeake Bay. And this does that, this acquisition and this loan would help us foster a realization of goals and objectives in the community facilities and services and economic development portions of your comprehensive plan, in the EDA strategic plan, and in the recently received, that is today, Tourism Action Plan, based upon our discussions with the Board of Supervisors. We have identified a suitable site and acting within our statutory authority under the Virginia Code, we've entered into negotiations for purchase of a parcel that will allow the county and the EDA to begin to realize many of the goals and objectives identified in the various plans noted. Our board have previously briefed the Board of Supervisors on potential development opportunities for the property in question. While the EDA maintains a small balance of funds accumulated over the years, we do lack the complete resources to effect this purchase and would not be able to do so without the loan in question. The proposed loans, such as these, have been utilized in other localities as seed money to realize economic development objectives. And it's the board's belief, our board's belief, that the acquisition and development of the property in cooperation with and is discussed with the Board of Supervisors will result in opportunities for expansion of the county's tourism and economic development base and subsequently the county's tax base, and it will be done in a strategic manner that will benefit the county in the future. So, and I would like to, Ms. Holmes, Hallie Holmes, a member of our board is here. I'd like to recognize her as well. We would like to support this amendment to the budget, and we want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to comment on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ansvino. Would the public like to speak on Budget Amendment FY 2026-001? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Dawn Moore, and I live at 525 Burroughs Marina Road. I am against this. We have enough waterway, we have enough marinas, we have enough whatever. We don't have transparency coming to the public on this. And the smallest thing that affects the whole county, we don't move on. So just my opinion, I don't have a boat. Anybody that has the large boats that you can gain tax on, you cut their tax. My brother has a small boat, he pays his tax. It's a boat tax. It's a luxury tax. We don't need no more. We have public boat landings, and this is coming from the public because this is not very transparent to the public on why this acquisition really needs to happen. So just talk of the county, I am against it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Hello, I'm Michael Nez. I live in Locust Hill, 633 Whiting Creek Road. I think access to the water is a good thing. I would support that. I would also ask that the board take and consider any unspecified expenses that this will incur. There's always expenses, and making sure that this loan is also something that the county is going to recoup some compensation for, since it's not going to be in the bank getting interest for us. It will, I believe it will help the county. I would think, too, that in helping Deltaville develop, we could also be concerned about the other parts of the county that needs development. We can be concerned about the school systems that need support, because it seems like when the school system needs money, it's always tighten your belt. So I believe everybody needs to be considered in these discussions, and it seems like to me the schools are left out and are asked to do with what they can scrounge up. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Nez. Okay.
Is the public hearing closed, Mr. Chairman?
No.
Thank you.
I'd like to close the public hearing. All right, moving right along. Is there a motion for Budget Amendment 2026-001?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
So moved by Mr. Crittenden. Do we have a second? I'll second the motion. Further discussion?
Question,
Sure.
how is the economic development going to be paying this loan back?
repayment terms have yet to be negotiated. We're exchanging paperwork with legal counsel. The board's tentative agreement was to loan the money to the board and perhaps to the EDA, and perhaps forgive as much as 2 years of initial payments while we pursued grants. We do have the money in the bank and available to make those payments, regardless of the $1 million. But again, that was kind of forbearance, if you will, to allow us to apply for grants to buy down the cost of that property, if you will. But that remains to be approved because that's a separate agreement from this amendment.
But there is a way that this loan will be paid back to the county.
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I want to know.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Funkhauser. We have a motion. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Crittenden?
Yes.
Mr. Jesse?
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris?
Yes, motion is approved for 2026-001. That'd be in order for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Mr. Crittenden.
Second it.
Second by Mr. Jesse. Roll call?
Mr. Crittenden?
Yes.
Mr. Jesse?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Don Harris?
Yes, we are adjourned.